you. So, thank you, moderator. Thank you, uh, um, honorable panelists. Those are basically my co-panelists in the session, and also who are basically participating in this workshop. So, I'm really, glad to be here and as a panelist to, share my views and basically my learnings throughout the last 10 or 12 years I was working with the young generation basically from my university, and also outside of my university, like involved with a few of the organizations who are basically youth led, and basically youth is the main power to develop anything. And also and youth is the main pillar of the development what basically we want. And today is the session is combating COVID-19 crisis. So young generation is the key factor to mitigating COVID-19 crisis, and they basically took lots of initiative, innovative initiative take, and they're basically contributing the society. So I'm just sharing the slides. Like I have one presentation for for the workshop. So it's a small presentation basically. So this is basically the topic, like mainstreaming young youth engagement in promoting South-South cooperation to respond COVID-19 crisis for achieving ICPD agenda. So I'm basically, focusing the Bangladesh perspective. So, so topic, first we need to topic conceptualization, how we can basically understand the topic that is basically select for the, for this workshop. So, thing is like youth mainstream. When we are called talking about the youth, so youth mainstreaming is a twofold strategy. It's involved ensuring basically it's basically twofold way to strategy. So one is youth perspective integrated in policy project steps in various sectors. So youth generation need to be engaging in the policy making level, and also they need to integrated way, this is the one. And second is there is specific policies, specific policies project action aim to narrowing the gap specific area youth empowerment. So these two things are very important to engaging our youth generation to in a integrated way. So and next is like youth mainstreaming about is about ensuring acknowledging. So ensuring, what kind of ensuring we need? Ensuring youth-centric institutions. So we need to build up the ensuring, youth-centric institutions and processing, development, planning, and across the sectors to realizing equitable development for the youth and the society. So basically, development, your society's integrated approach. So we have to ensuring these things, like ensuring institutions. So and ensuring your participation in all spheres and level of the development planning, without which positive and equitable outcome for youth are not possible. So we have to ensuring these things as well. So and next is acknowledging. So we have to acknowledging the implication of the intergenerational relations among the youth, adults, young people, unique development rights, evolving capacities in convincing and delivering policies and plan for them. So this two things is very important, for for the youth mainstreaming. So next is the youth mainstreaming arrow. So the now age of the we are always talking about the SDGs. So achieving SDGs, which thing SDGs basically, which SDGs basically is basically involved with the youth mainstream. So one is SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. So this is youth-centric institution and planning. So one, and then is like another is like SDG strong institutional and SDGs target 4.7 citizen education. So this is basically the what we want, and this why. Basically, for this we need to social equality for young people. So SDG 10. So therefore, improve development outcomes we need. So this is basically the youth mainstreaming arrow. And next is basically the significance of South-South or and triangular cooperation. Like we are always talking about the partnership. So how basically partnership is shape up. So UNDP administrator said like development is no longer one-way transfer of funds or expertise, but rather equal partnership rooted in shared interest, shared experience, and multilateral responses. So partnership are very critical to like crucial to scaling up the response to global crisis to COVID-19, and South-South and triangular cooperation can be powerful to help countries of the global South development solution for the best. So basically partnership it's a like critical thing, and we need to scaling up the partnership with the institutions, with the young generations, and basically for like we are talking about the South-South cooperation and as well as for the global context. So next is basically response to COVID-19 and future pandemic that we are basically like how our young generation will basically already involve and will involve. So this is basically one, and how basically we will like how we will basically face the future pandemic, the COVID-19. According to the UNDP study, so COVID-19 could push the number of people living in extreme poverty to over 1 million by 2030. So this is one, and in global South, structural gaps have found in a comparison with the global North. So next is bridging the knowledge. So we have to like bridging the knowledge and resources the developed countries. So like like could help Bangladesh tackle public health crisis. So basically COVID health is like impacted in different various ways, like it's impacting economic, mental health, and also like social issues. Like gender-based violence is basically increasing during the COVID-19 crisis. Here's a report we see basically. So we have to need to like bridging the knowledge and resources among the countries. So this is and the ICPD 25 fifth commitments we already know about the things. So next is the Bangladesh, how like what basically Bangladesh commits to. So strengthening effort to reduce mental mortality rate from 169 to 70 per 1 lakh leave births by 2030. This is the one. Second is reduce unmet need to family planning, ensuring the availability and access to all family planning methods and on like for the everyone, reducing gender-based violence that I already told. So early and forced marriage, harassment and discrimination of girls and women. For this, addressing demographic diversity and harness fully the demographic dividend did in comfortably uh, with the SDGs. And next is promote South-South and triangular cooperation to accelerate the progress on achieving ICPD and SDGs developing countries. So this is basically Bangladesh commits. And next is mode of engagement. How basically like way we are basically engaging with the things. One is programmatic action. Next is budgetary and financial action. So these things basically is two are basically important for the like mode of engagement. One is to reduce like maternal mortality, tackle unmet needs for family planning that I already told. And next is budgetary and financial. So mobilizing educated resources, excluding even innovative financing institution into South-South and triangular cooperation. And next is United Nations Office of South-South Cooperation recognition to Bangladesh. So there is a like publication name is called South-South in Action, Citizen Friendly Public Services Innovation in Bangladesh, which basically tell Bangladesh success in ensuring good governance. So this is very basically important for like ensuring the good governance as well. So best practices. I'm just talking about few of the best practices of Bangladesh that basically need to be follow for the like it's basically good for other countries or South Asian or any people they can like follow the things. So one is youth-led development and participating model. So, you guys already know about the, like Bangladesh is the youth-led country. So there's a one third of the population are youth in Bangladesh. So in every part of the things, every corner we can see the, like youth-led development and participating model we see. Like people are basically like young generation, young people, they're, like build a institution. They're, like lead the development things. They lead the like entrepreneur things, these things. They're basically like leading the phone. So it generating economic opportunities for the youth and creating an enabling environment of youth and tribes socially and economically. Second is innovations. Innovation is very important. Like during the COVID-19, like my previous panelist already told about the innovations. So this is basically the like innovations things. Young people always think in a different way, and new things. They're basically come up with the solutions, and also like they are going way forward with the innovative things. So innovations, I skill workforce to the future project. So this second. Third is service innovation fund created, and so service innovation fund. This is a one like thing are basically happening. So digital skill and decent job for the youth campaign. So you can see in Bangladesh, like we called it, in 21st century, and we are basically already digitalized country in everywhere. We are fully digitally, developed in a last like one decade. So we digitally we are everything we can manage or doing like organizations and things are basically digital. So digital skill development program is happening in every side, every corner in the country, and basically it's create decent job for youth actually. So next is like um, education for youth empowerment and to create an unemployment free village. So this is basically the developed by the Department of Youth Development in our country. So it's basically like from Ministry of Youth and Sports. So this kind of best practices is basically we are practicing. So now we can see the best practices around the globe. So what is happening? So you can see the poverty reduction among the youth in Cambodia. So the farm of the table project. So this is one initiative. There is another 7 goal to keep young people. So global youth resiliency fund. So so these are the things that global practices, and this is the key messages I wanted to share with in the workshop. This empowering the current generation of young people upon which future divided relay. In critical, the require threefold strategy: strengthening access to knowledge and knowledge of sexual and reproductive health care, smart investment in the education, at least the primary and secondary levels, skill and labor markets are finally strengthening social safety nets to create a supportive environment for the youth of Bangladesh. So this is basically the key policy messages, and further uh, expectations from the policymakers of Bangladesh. So, like we are basically to the expectation, like young people always expect new things from the from the government and all. So one is access the situation of young people regarding skill of work during the after the COVID-19 pandemic, learn how they have to been living through the crisis, highlighting success stories of youth innovation and resilience. So the skills and development, basically, centers, they're basically wanted to expected from the government, and also like youth friendly policies basically they wanted to from the government, and also few of the laws basically make from the government. Young people they basically expect, and young people need to be accessing the policy making process is basically the bigger expectation of the young generation. And so this is the things for the expectation, and now I'm just sharing it the way forward. Few of the thing I have to, this is basically way forwarding and recommendation that we can say. So we should work on improving the livelihood and empowering of vulnerable women and youth in Bangladesh to prevent future socio-economic crisis and post-COVID era. So this is one. Providing software and hardware facilities to small and medium enterprise, and strengthening capacities to use e-commerce platform, thereby expanding their access to market. So next is creating an online platform that can enable to inform decision making in matters that concern them. Break the brick partnership between the Bangladesh youth and government to COVID-19 recovery measures. Applying a youth and intergenerational lens in crisis response and recovery measures across the public administration. And then updating the national youth strategies in collaborating with the youth stakeholders to translate the political commitment into actionable programs, promoting age and diversity in public consultation, aligning the short-term emergency response and investing into long-term economic, social, and environmental objectives, and partnership with the national strategical offices and research institutions together. Um, and basically, this is it from my side. So thank you so much. Thank you, moderator. Over to you.